Hello, Irish weather.
Mohammed, you know how we're loving the rain because we didn't get a lot of rain in the UAE, but you know everybody over here just hates us for smiling so much with the rain.
I should not have worn chucks today. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, you stand out so bad. Hang on, let me get you a hat so you look a
I
little...
stand out so bad.
Look at you, you're wearing ghatraga in the middle of Grafton Street in Ireland. Let me get you something to make you look a little bit more, well, not Irish, but to fit in a little bit more. You're never gonna look Irish.
Show me, son.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. I'm gonna get my brother this cap so he fits in a little bit more with his dress.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I'm not worried.
No.
Dude, it's gonna work for you, man. Anything to fix your style would be good.
Striving for perfection.
It seems as though we meet Irishmen everywhere we travel, always so genuine and warm, some of the nicest people I've ever met. I like to believe it has something to do with their accent. It's inviting. A total stranger can feel like a great friend.
It's an accepting and hospitable culture, deeply grounded with an appreciation for community, whether their own or foreign. Perhaps this is the reason why Irish culture is so widespread across the world.
It's true. For such a relatively small country, the Irish have made a huge imprint on the world, from heritage and culture to theatre, music and the arts.
This could be the reason why we've always found the Irish so relatable. However, now that we're here in Dublin, we want to find out what exactly makes the Irish so distinctly, well, Irish.
I love the traditional dress. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
One of the things that we figured is while we do this show, while we travel, that we would maintain this traditional dress. Again, to sort of create this conversation about how this part of our identity still exists today. And we're very fortunate.
In Europe and around the Western, we all have such a generic look that I think it's beautiful when countries hold on to their own traditional dress.
So you are a designer, and you're really trying to push this Irish influence in your designs, right?
I'm from a peninsula in the very west of Ireland. It's very rugged, but it's outstandingly beautiful. It's very wild. You've got the Atlantic Ocean, loads of inlays, stone walls.
A lot of inspiration.
Completely.
So how does that translate into the finished good? Like, you want to show us a few things?
So, for example, like we would have looked at the geology as mythology, and I think our landscape is wrapped up in that notion. The pukas and the Irish kind of folklore and history and the changelings.
And the pukas you said were?
The pukas were like the Irish word for fairies, and I'm sure you have your equivalent as well. They're like rascals or bold kind of mythological characters.
We call them jinn. The word genie comes from jinn.
Right, okay. The stone walls, which is very much the tweed. So again, the shoreline, the stone walls. And this tweed, it's so durable. This lasts a lifetime, and you probably hand it down as well. Very easy to work with. It doesn't shrink when you iron it or press it. It's a really durable, and it's quite like the landscape in the
And
west.
it tells a story, which you told earlier.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get your inspiration from Ireland, where you come from, that area in Ireland. Why is that important for you?
Well, I think, firstly, it's impossible not to be utterly blown away by the landscape. And it's a very visceral thing. You grew up there, it's part of you, it's your history, it's where you're from. And probably to do with the fact that I left home at 16 and came to Dublin. And I think that definitely informed, because I missed the west of Ireland, even though there was never going to be a life there in what I do now. And I think that made me have a strong attachment to Connemara. And I guess when you work in London and in the fashion industry, that's very unique to Irish designers.
I see a lot of people saying, we love Irish, there's a campaign.
Yeah, there's a campaign. But I think since the crash in Ireland, people have been very conscious about, supporting Irish and buying Irish product. This current collection, Bella's Fall, it's all been produced here.
I mean, we are seeing a trend that's moving from mass production to personal production.
Yeah, I mean, I think it keeps it local. I think it's more interesting. You know, even for me, this your world and your life, and even I'm sure you both experience this, is full of things. We don't need all of these things. And so I think there will be definitely a backlash to that, and then it all starts organically again. And I think fast fashion is not sustainable. That notion that something is so disposable, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Mark, we heard you were gonna kill us, and this is where you're gonna do it.
Yeah, but like you guys brought a crew with you, so I thought there might be too many witnesses, so we might just go for a swim instead.
When I asked you for Irish tradition, I didn't expect you to say we're gonna swim.
Well, there's 2 times of the year that this place is popular. It's Christmas morning and in the summertime. But there's people who come here all year round, no matter how cold it is.
It's February.
Well,
Yeah, what I was expecting is a heated pool.
yeah, well, it'll be a shock to the system. It'll do you the world of good. It'll boost the immune system and you'll have longevity from it. It's looking a little bit rough today, but it's a beautiful spot to come out to and makes you feel healthy when you go in there and you go for a swim. Like,
Dude, you're certainly full of energy. How long have you been doing this for?
I've been doing it for years. Like, I come out, I don't do it as regularly as the old guys around here, but this is actually probably one of the coldest times of the year because we're coming out of the winter and it hasn't had a chance to heat up yet. So even though we're coming into springtime, we've had the whole winter to cool down.
How cold is it right now?
I'd say maybe about 4 degrees, 4 or 5 degrees.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
Listen, are you ready to see 2 guys from the desert show you what they're made of?
I can't wait. I've been coming here since I was a kid. Like, people come here all the time. There's the regulars who come here every day, but I mean, like, if you live in Dublin, you've been here. I'm like, it's the spot to come swimming. Like, in the summertime, this place is just rammed with crowds. Like, you wouldn't believe it. Let's do it. We go for a dip.
Oh my God. I can't believe we did that. I can't believe we did that.
My whole body's like tingling.
Electricity.
Yeah.
Should we do it again?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ah, come on. There's that shock to the system I was talking about.
Now I think I can live in Ireland, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that felt so good. You know, the second I hit the water, I swear, I felt like my whole body just like, I couldn't feel my whole body.
It's great to see 2 lads from Dubai getting into the freezing cold Irish Sea.
Just so you know, we live in the desert, but we're strong. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that turning point where all of you came together and said, you know what, here's an opportunity for Block T and possibly doing greater good for the art community or movement here in Dublin?
We started the adventure 2 years ago, 2 years and a half. And suddenly the crisis arrived. We had 5,000 people a week who left for real. And everybody started to panic, like, you know, landlords. So they pushed down the prices. It was the first time in Ireland that you had the opportunity to rent a space that was not far away from the city center, full of damp and awful, like, layout.
It's a sport that there's not a lot of support for. They're very proactive, they do an awful lot. They put on shows quite regularly, film nights, this kind of thing. They've this amazing complex with 50, 60 artists So again, you get to meet a lot of people with similar mindsets, and they create a lot of opportunities.
I think we were really lucky in terms of team core. Those people decided to not move out and to get together, rent that space, learn as you go, and putting a platform together where you would have studios, gallery, gigs, courses,
Cool.
common areas, you know, any kind of creative events, nights and stuff.
We do 3 sets of courses. We do beginners, which is somebody who hasn't got a clue about darkroom. And then we do the intermediate one, so it gets more intense, it gets more exciting, you can get more out of your images. And then we do advanced, which we do use fibre-based paper, and they do toning as well. People just want a bit of realism. And film, it's tangible, it's in your hand, you can touch it, and it's that nostalgia as well. When things are hard, especially at the moment here in Ireland, there's that want of something that's real.
I think one of the things that I've seen around the world is that we keep talking about this economic crisis, and I think it was a pivotal point for a lot of people to reevaluate where they are in their lives.
It's exactly that. I think you got it. It was not only a matter of having a space, but having an entire purpose, aims, and way to live.
You created an incentive to keep Irish artists over here.
Mm-hmm. We really wanted to create a space where people would think, okay, I stay in Dublin, I give it a chance, I rent a space there. So we had the idea then to create a membership. So once you step in, you're part of the family kind of thing.
Every day is just an exciting day. There's never a dull day here. You never know what's going to happen, what may come out of a meeting in the hall, you know, a meeting in the kitchen. You just spark ideas off each other, and then the next minute you know you're working on something together.
You know, it's always weird how space can changes the way people behave. It's weird. It's something quite interesting.
Sentiment about local produce over here?
It's getting there, it's improving. The last few years it's really grown. So we see it now with the dinners, more people are interested in where the food actually comes from. I think Ireland now, it's like producers are taking it so seriously, and they want to make it a product that's like for export now as well. So they're really focused on it having a really high quality. Lots of our salmon's now exported and stuff, like a huge amount of it. So there's certain products now on there that are so renowned that they go so far now, and so I think they want that for more of Irish produce. So now it's becoming something a bit more serious, and like it's the joy of being able to put in air elements into food and like make it your own. So it takes us starting from here, being small, to get into there where we get to show off what's Irish and what's great, you know? It would have been very hard for me to successfully do this 10 years ago than to do it now.
You know, what I find really interesting, when people visit the UAE, the first thing they ask is, where can we eat UAE food? I think that's the first question we asked when we came over here as well, and that's why I was asking you.
Irish people are really good at taking from other cultures and making it their own. So, you know, like the likes of today, like we don't really exactly have traditional Irish food, or like it would be like kind of odd courses. They wouldn't sit the best, and you'd be very full. Yeah. But as we were talking about for so long, like food was just fuel.
But you still have to find us a place.
People that
you got to tell us where to get the stew.
Well, Foxty House, I'll make a stew. Don't worry. I'll whip you up a batch.
There you go. That was the objective.
Yeah.
One of the things that I probably did not expect is there's so many international food restaurants over here. There's a ton of burrito places. There's a ton of Italian, and there's French certainly, and so forth. But not a lot of Irish restaurants, you know, that have a menu full of Irish food. Why is that so?
When you look at the world and you look at restaurants, you know, where New York is now, London will be in 12 months, and Dublin will be another 12 or 18 months after that. That's fashion. And that's been led by whether it's the media or people's desires. People want to go out and eat something special and celebrate something new, something trendy, something different. You know, Ireland, I suppose its national cuisine would tend to be comfort food, and it's not necessarily something you'd go out on a celebratory evening. It's something that you would have around a table with your family, with a fire lit, you know, the rain outside.
I think we're coming into like a new time of people feeling very proud, and now it's like, no, actually our cheeses can stand right up next to any of the great cheeses in the world, and like here's the venison that we have that Kevin's put on our plate. Like these are really strong ingredients that we've always had, but maybe we just haven't been using them properly.
I think maybe it's not so much we haven't been using them properly, but that we haven't been proud of them. Or that I think we're more realising now that, actually we do have something to shout about, and it mightn't necessarily be particular dishes, but the raw materials that we have, like the cheeses and the beef and the venison and all of that is all really good.
So during the week we came up with the original menu for this. And the starter was actually going to be spinach gnocchi with mussels, but they forgot to send them to us yesterday.
Oh no.
So I kind of ran around the market, and we decided to not make spinach gnocchi. We went with normal sarpo, just potatoes from Jenny McNally. We got some venison off Ed, and then we made a watercress and limecress pesto with some of David's apples in there. And then there's some purslane on top for garnish, which is delicious, so just eat it.
And you forgot lots of love.
Lots of love.
I was watching you the whole time.
Yeah. Cool, enjoy guys, and tuck in.
So guys, seriously, what do you guys think of people who picture their food before they eat it?
It's very sad.
I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm just trying to do my thing. I don't want to.
The experience is not getting the album sleeve anymore and taking it out and reading the musicians' names and where it was recorded. The band have to give the experience more in person now than they do kind of over the medium of, kind of MP3 or so.
See, even for us, it's more exciting to do it that way. I mean, we get a kick out of doing something really different, like and playing in places where there shouldn't be a gig. Like.
It's a challenge almost. It's a challenge. You can tear it all apart. It's too late and getting tired. I told you from the start that I would be here.
But you guys did something cool recently with the launch of your album.
Our second EP. We took kind of a shed, like a work shed, tools and benches and stuff. We built up our own stage and we put blacks around all the walls so it looked like a theatre inside. And it was just the kind of idea of doing something different and kind of making people understand that music can be enjoyed anywhere you want it to be enjoyed if you put the work in and the effort in that you can do it. And
the idea that you're creating an experience for a one night that it's never going to be again, and that it's just like a moment in time, just one night, one experience. Either you were there or you weren't there.
I mean, you're right, because like today, anybody can like find music or copy music online. You know? So I think the value of music is changing, and there's definitely a rise in terms of concerts around the world because you can't replicate that.
But it's good. I mean, you guys are creating a buzz, so you know how to do that. Obviously, how has social media really helped you in driving the awareness for your band?
It's imperative.
And why is that important to connect with people around the world?
Well, that's what songwriting is. That's what we're trying to do, is connect with people.
Sometimes I just don't sleep till the sun is shining on the ground.
You guys are not from Portland.
No.
You guys are not from Austin, Texas.
No. I don't think so.
Because I say that because, I hear bands from there, and they have that sound too, and I tell myself, are they Irish? And they're not, but obviously they're so influenced by this style of music.
I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just that it's not natural for me to try and sound like I'm from America or from play like an English kind of British kind of indie band or something. It's just to actually try and change my voice and go out of my way to kind of sound like something else. I don't know, I feel like I'd be letting myself down a bit almost. I definitely take pride in where I'm from and how I sound and what I speak like, and the things that happen around me immediately, like what the people before me did, you know, they were fishermen and farmers and stuff. You have to respect that. And when I write songs, I take all that in, but I don't chase it when I'm writing a song. I think it's just because it's in me rather than actually, you know, forcing it out, you know.
It's very hard to write about something that's completely abstracted from the way that you've lived and where you've lived from the day that you were born. So I think your environment has to have some sort of a shaping role on you as a person and therefore on your songs, so on your music. So
you have to kind of, you know, take pride in where you're from and nail your colours to the mast a wee bit too, you know.
Sometimes I just don't sleep till the sun is shining on the ground.
The first thing we do in a country to connect with the locals and culture is look for local food. We searched for this unsuccessfully until Kevin Powell informed us that Ireland had no official cuisine. It is more about the use of Irish ingredients and Irish made.
And it's the same with music. They use locally made instruments and sing about elements of their culture and scenery. The Irish include a piece of Ireland in everything they do, but yet, this is not what defines them.
I figured it out while dressing Kildare and helping Declan McClafferty unload music gear out of his car. I confessed to him that I was concerned how people would react to my cultural dress. He replied in his heavy Irish accent, "Don't worry, I'll stand by you and protect you."
It's easy to be indifferent, to let things be, to show no empathy for other people's pains, and to forsake community in favor of yourself. But that's not what it means to be Irish.
To be Irish means to give a damn, not just about themselves, but about others. In an era where materials are more valuable than relationships, can we be our brother's keeper? Are you your brother's keeper?
Now, more than ever, we want to support small, locally minded businesses and organizations that believe in establishing roots. Those that bring people and communities closer together. We all need to start giving a damn.